Hi, welcome back to the channel. Today what I'd like to do is give you 3 pointers for preparing your property if an inspector is coming to look at it for a potential buyer. Now when an inspector is coming to look at your property that you're potentially selling, really what they're looking for is just an overall health of the property and to make sure that nothing crazy is happening that the buyer could potentially get themselves kind of into a bind. So what that inspector is doing is really looking at some of the basics and just making sure from an overall function the property is doing well and is in good health. Today's tips and tricks are going to be 3 easy things that you can address on your own quickly, efficiently, and can really make a difference when that inspector is looking at your property. The first thing that I'm going to offer up is check anything that's water related. That means checking your sinks, making sure that the water's flowing properly, that there are no clogs, there's no issues with the drainage, that the faucets turn on and turn off effectively. Make sure that your toilets are running well, that they flush well, that there's no issues with drainage, there's no leaking around them. Also make sure things such as your bathtub, your shower, are they functioning as they should be as well? Are they draining properly? Also check your dishwashers. Run that dishwasher before the inspector comes. Run your washer before the inspector comes and make sure there's no issues with leaking or excessive water being held either in the washer or in the dishwasher. Because what you really want to do is limit the issues the inspector sees. And for some reason, the moment they start seeing water as being an issue, they really start inspecting harder and harder on the property to make sure that the buyer is getting a healthy property. So check anything that's water related, make sure that it's turning on, it's turning off well, and it's also draining properly. The second thing that I'm going to offer up to you is check anything related to your heating and your cooling system. Now, if it's wintertime, what I'm going to ask you to do is run the heat. If it's summertime, I'm going to ask you to run the AC. But what I want you to do is adjust that to the extreme a bit and make sure that if it's summertime, you're getting cool air. Don't just make sure that you're getting cool air in the living room or the kitchen. Check all of the other rooms to make sure that you're getting the proper airflow. What the inspector is going to be doing is making sure that the unit is functioning properly and that it's pushing the right amount of airflow throughout the property that you have, and in turn making sure that it's working well. Kind of a bonus tip here for you, if you will, is make sure that you replace all of your filters for your heating and cooling system before the inspector shows up. The last thing that you want is for the inspector to show up and see a filthy, kind of a dirty filter, and to them showing that you've not really done the right maintenance for the unit itself, and that maybe it's having to work harder than it should to cool or to heat the property effectively. So check those. That's going to be something that you can change on your own. It's going to be something that's simple and effective, not super costly, so it's an easy fix. If you don't know where your heating and cooling filters are located, send me a message, leave a message below, and I'll be happy to walk you through that. The third thing that I'm going to offer up to you today is make sure that the property is clean. You don't want an inspector coming into your property, seeing a filthy property, and then starting to think that if this current owner does not take care of the property, they're not cleaning the property, they're most definitely not going to be taking care of the structural or the more important things that matter as well. So clean up the property. Don't give them a chance or an opportunity to even start looking for things that could be wrong with the property. The cleaner the property, the better, the more at home that inspector is going to feel. And as they go through and they do their inspection of the property, the easier it's going to make for them. Again, this video is for those of you who have a property that an inspector is going to come out to see, and 3 really easy things that you can do to ensure that that experience with the inspector is the best. Check anything that's water related. Make sure that you check your heating and cooling system, replace those filters, and again, if you don't know how, leave me a message and I'll help you out with that. And also make sure that that property is clean. You want that inspector knowing that you take care of the property and that it should be an easy inspection for them. I hope today is helpful. If there's any questions or comments, don't forget, leave them below and I'll be happy to get to them. And we'll see you again next week. Thanks again.